it's right here.
Yeah, it's right next door.
So we are walking into the award-winning floor plan, the Middleton. We won't be able to fit the full tour inside of this video today. However, if you'd like to see this floor plan, like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll make sure to make it happen. Other than that, you can check for a little mini tour in our reels. Well, in our shorts. I want to take some time to introduce you to a new construction representative, and she did kind of go over the process, but we just kind of want to go into an in-depth perspective of what that process would be like for a buyer. Tiffany did a beautiful job explaining the process once you walk into a DRB home, but there are several steps that we need to take for our buyer before we even walk into that home. The first thing I want to talk about is finding a realtor. One misconception is that you don't need a realtor when purchasing new construction. And sometimes a new construction representative might tell you that as well, but you want to be represented. And we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Finding a realtor that can represent you, that is knowledgeable, that knows the real estate lingo to help you through the transaction would be the first step to the process. The second step to the process, the initial conversation with the builder's representative. So getting your realtor, creating a time or creating a schedule for you all to connect with that builder, and then going to visit that community together to have the initial conversation of what you're looking for in a home and how they might be able to assist you, and even some of the incentives.
The incentives here in Fox Hollow are if you are using an outside lender, so not one of their preferred lenders. I think their lender currently is Prime Lending that they are working with, where you can get an interest rate buy down and up to about $7,000 or $8,000 in flex cash. So if you use someone outside of Prime Lending or another one of their preferred lenders, then you would get up to $21,000 in flex cash. So you can use that to buy down your interest rates, buy down the price of the house, or money that goes towards your closing costs.
After that initial conversation, you're going to want to connect with the lender, whether that be one of their in-house lenders or their partner lenders, and or a lender that you have already connected with. You want to have an idea of what you're approved for. So I always recommend my clients to go ahead and get approved with a mortgage broker. You want to make sure your client is getting the best deal. And I know these incentives are here and they're kind of like gold money flashing in front of your eyes. But at the end of the day, we want to get you the best mortgage. We want to get you the best interest rate. And we want you to bring as less money to closing as possible. And so we want you to explore your options and shop around.
And to add to that, when you go into these new construction sites, you're seeing them saying they're starting at 300s or starting in the low to high 300s. So it's best for you to go and get it pre-approved so you know how much you have to play with. So if you approved up to 350, and for example, Fox Hollow is starting at 290s. Well, then you also have to consider doing any type of upgrades or any additions that you'd like to make. So that starting at 290 can get up there. So you want to make sure that you are within your pre-approval amount. With new construction here in Fox Hollow, once you go under contract and you get pre-approved, of course, then that's where you would have multiple different types of meetings. On the builder, you would have a design meeting. So you would meet to do any type of additions like the cabinet color, the finishes on the cabinet, things of that nature. Have your pre-construction meeting where you would go over with the project manager, and he would discuss, go over basically everything that you've chosen. Answer any questions that you may have, because he's the one who's going to be managing the project of getting your house built from the ground up.
From that point on, we're going to be working with a project manager or a superintendent. But before this process, you would really be hands-on with a representative like Tiffany, and then you'll move on to connect and maintain a relationship during the construction with the superintendent.
Correct. From there, you would have your pre-drywall meeting. Then throughout these meetings, whether you're in-state and local and you can drive by the site yourself, or if you're out of state, where we will drive by off the property, make sure that
the timeline is what they say is happening.
Make sure that, you know, there's not anything that's being installed. You know, let's just say that windows say they're going to be installed next week. Well, we're going to the property to make sure that windows are actually being installed, and there's not a 2 or 3 week delay and no one's informed about it. Once the house is close to being finished, being built, that's where inspections will go into place. Inspectors will come out to the property, and then we'll review and then make sure that all type of issues are being negotiated and being completed prior to getting the keys and closing on your home.
Now, in between that, before the inspections, new construction does something called a blue tape walkthrough. What you'll do is go through the home with the superintendent. You'll have your inspection report there with you, and you'll let them know the work that still needs to be maintained with the home. The thing that I really do like about new construction is that they value their product. They don't want you to walk into a bad product, and so there's hardly any time that we're really seeing a hard negotiation for repairs and cosmetic repairs, unlike resale, which is very, very different. Differences between resale and new construction.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the differences between resale and new construction. Our first point is obviously being new versus resale. So with brand new, you're going to be the first person to sleep in the house. You're going to be the first person to flush the toilet. You're going to be the first person to do everything in the house. You have the option to customize your house. So with resale, you have you'll be buying a house that someone either customized or it was built as a spec. So with this, you have the option of picking your flooring, you have the option of picking your countertops, the paint color, the doorknobs, things of that nature. And also the third point that I like to add is with a lot of new construction, they are offering incentives. So you do have, like for example, Fox Hollow, you have the option of getting up to $21,000 in flex cash. You have opportunities to buy down your interest rate, closing cost assistance, versus resale. That
really
involves
closing costs.
Yeah, because that involves like a lot of negotiation. Some sellers may not offer closing cost assistance, but you know, choosing the right realtors, you'll have the opportunity to hire someone who's able to negotiate on your behalf, get you some closing costs if applicable. But with new construction, the builders, it's kind of like, we are for sure 100% going to give you up to this amount in closing costs versus, let's just say with resale, it involves a lot of negotiation and strategy. So you may or may not receive that incentive there.
Some of the other differences between resale and new construction is basically that inspection and negotiation process. With a resale, you're going to see more negotiations when it comes to cosmetic repairs, repairs in general, closing costs. With new construction, as Damien stated, those closing costs, they're telling you what they're going to give you up front. And you don't have to do any negotiating on that, as well as some of the cosmetic things that you want done in your home before you walk into it. We always like to say on a resale contract, pick out those big ticket repair items for that seller to think about, because they're coming out of pocket to make those repairs, as opposed to a new construction multi-million-dollar business and that would easily fix the cosmetics in the big ticket items in the home, because they want to ensure the quality of that product and the product that they've branded for themselves, or the business that they branded within themselves. So they want to make sure they do a really good job. Lastly,
construction, you're going to be able to get, like Alexis kind of stated earlier, you do get that blue tape walkthrough. So you're able to, if there's like a mark on the wall, if there's something wrong with the molding, things of that nature, you're able to do that blue tape on there and then allow the contractors to come back in with the project manager and fix those things before you move in. With resale, it's where you're not going to be able to choose, like Alexis was saying, those cosmetic items. So like, for example, if there's a chip on the wall or something, a seller will be less likely to fix those type of things. But also with new construction, you do get, with most builders, you do get a 11-month
1 point touch up.
Yes, thank you. So that with that, That's where they'll come back, fix any nail pops, fix anything, any type of ticket items that you may want to hold off until the house settles a little bit more.
The one thing about a home is you give it some time and it will show itself or tell on itself. So the constructors, they know that, respect that, and will come in to do a 1-point touch up because the home will have told on itself.
Yes. So with that, that gives you the opportunity to for them to come back and then touch up those little items versus a resale. You know, once you close on that home, they're less likely to anything to come back because the seller's not once the seller is closed on that house, they're not going to come back and they're not going to fix any type of repairs that you wanted on the house. So that's the point of getting that negotiation done prior to you closing on the house.
Last but not least, you need representation. You need a realtor. Tiffany is so nice and so wonderful, and I would recommend anybody purchasing a DRB home to go see Tiffany. But first, you need to come see us. There has been a big misconception about not needing a realtor, and that is not the case because, for one, a builder's representative, I don't care how nice they are, I don't care how much they know about the community, I don't care how warm and welcoming that they are when you step into those doors, they represent the seller.
Why it's best to talk to a realtor first before you go to these new construction properties, because sometimes, let's just say that you want to just take a sneak peek before you talk to a realtor. Well, once you give that builder's agent your information and then you want to bring a real estate agent back, it's less likely that they'll be able to allow you to have representation.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to build in that community with that builder. So it's best, that's why we always suggest speak with the realtor first, get pre-approved, and then from there, go to these sites.
Yeah, and you might be asking, like, what representation might I need? Like, the home is built, we see it. No, there are documents, there are contracts that you're going to have to read and review, and you're going to want that assistance. You're going to want a second set of eyes and ears to see that home. Also, somebody that is familiar with the construction process and knows the real estate lingo. They might be throwing words at you that you're unfamiliar with, and we would never, ever, ever want you to agree to something because you don't understand it. So take that extra step, speak with a realtor, explore your options, and we'll connect you with somebody that shares the same values as we do and can help you on that process. But the first step is to find a realtor. So you definitely need a realtor when going to visit new construction.
Yeah, just basically overall, just take that extra step to get pre-approved and speak with a realtor who's going to go take that extra mile to make sure that you're represented in the best capacity and put your needs first throughout the process. So.
Yes, we want to help you. We want to make sure that you're getting the best quality, the best service, and we want to make sure that you understand and you are educated in every single step to this process, especially in new construction, because new construction is not new. I want to get that stuck in your head. New construction is not new anymore. It's here. It's happening. It's here to stay, especially in Greenville, South Carolina. And so we appreciate you staying for this video. Check our shorts. Stay connected with us. If you want to see this model, follow us on Instagram. Check our YouTube shorts, and we'll be sure to post a quick sneak peek of this model. But if there was anything else that you would like to know about new construction, comment, like, subscribe below, and we'll be sure to answer your questions. And if you want to visit another community, let us know. Mwah.